some home cooking.
And Zach, at one point, I took a nap and woke up. I was still waiting. You know what? That angered me when I seen that.
I think this was Cael's idea.
You know, we got to give some love out to one Sean Bormat because...
Let's talk some more about Oklahoma State, who just beat up Missouri.
I know.
24-10, dude.
Spratley, I cannot say... Do you watch Spratley?
Oh,
that's the best you got. You know, sleek little, like sporty kind.
Stuff,
He's got the whole full tire right around his neck.
If it don't go well Friday night, you might not see it unless you're on live, right? BEG Wrestling is brought to you by Beaver Enterprise Group. Visit us online at beaverenterprisegroup.com to see a full list of services and contact us now to schedule your spring photo sessions. Match Day Live. What?
Testing. 1, 2. Testing.
Testing audio.
Now wait, I just want to make sure the audio's working.
An audio check. You
did.
Yeah.
You did hook this up and stuff, did you?
Okay, we are recording. Double check. Yes. All right. Listen, I apologize, folks. Yeah, audio not great. And listen, at the end of the day, this whole thing's funded by a parent company that's a professional photography and videography business. So. Listen, all the more reason for you guys to like and subscribe, because if you didn't catch it live, we have a minimum standard of quality here, and it didn't meet it. So it got taken down. However, I figured everything out, so if we ever do it again. Unbelievable, dude.
Hey, what do you care? Did you have fun?
I had fun. Yeah.
I had fun. That's the bottom line.
I think everyone, most people there, I think, had fun. But,
you know, I think we're both off center now that I look, and that's going to bother me.
Yeah, well, we got to move your way.
Yes. Okay, see? Look at this.
Yeah.
We're talking about perfection. We're trying to be perfect.
Unbelievable, dude. I mean, wow. Wow. Yeah, listen, improvements, it was a learning experience, but I had fun. I mean, thanks again to Permani Brothers for their
it was really cool meeting some of the fans, although... Yeah, it's like you said. There was a lot to learn from, and the first one was rough. Our first episode
was rough.
It was rough.
It was rough. Yeah, think about it like that, folks. Go back, watch our first episode, look at this one now. Hey, yeah, we're gonna make progress. So,
well, we have gone by the same standard the whole time. Are we having fun? And ultimately, you know, we're not everybody's cup of tea. We understand that. But
most not. Most don't like this type of tea. So, hey,
I mean,
we better be having fun, otherwise.
This tea's a little strong for some, but hey, we're having fun. We got comments, we got opinions,
we got shirts for sale.
But this is what wrestling fanatics do. In between matches, we're there. Back and forth. This is a show.
Yeah,
that's what this is. We're waiting for the next match.
Yeah, well, you know, speaking of that, we got a lot to get into, but first, real quick, our comment of the week, BT1919. Does anyone else start clapping along with the fellas at the beginning of the podcast, whether you're driving, at the office, in the shower? I've done all three. And I have to believe you have as well. We are here. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
BT19.
That was cool.
Yeah, I don't know how. We just kind of fell into that.
He has a lot of great comments. I like that. It might be a she. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But let's pick up where we left off match day.
All right.
Live night.
Wow.
Penn State, Ohio State.
Wow.
Okay. We started at 125 and some home cooking. Some home cooking there in State College, wouldn't you say?
Wow. And some of you are going to be surprised to hear this. I hate when refs get it wrong, even if it's in favor of my team. That was wrong. And it just was. But then I've heard the other option is, first off, don't leave it up to the refs. Second off, they're trained. They even went and double-checked their work, and I don't believe there was anything shady going on. They're thinking, call. I don't know if it involved reaction time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, what was the thought process there? I don't know.
But ultimately, to the wrestlers, like the old saying goes, don't leave it up to that. Now, and I also mentioned about Braden Davis. Didn't
look him normal self.
Well, there at the end, I forgot all about this, but Kilcarry and Braden Davis went at it at the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, and Kilcarry beat him 5-2. So there was some history there, and that was kind of wise. Little old Tom Ryan's over there thinking, Kilcarry might have this guy's number, and he throws Kilcarry out, and you know what? Kilcarry and maybe has a stylistic problem for Davis. I don't know.
Yeah, matchup problem.
But in the end, Davis went to, I'm going to hang on to the lead. And, you talk to the Nolfs and the Nichols and the Taylors, and he'll learn this as he goes along. Never go into that. Just always keep scoring. Think I'm going to just keep scoring, because the inside trip was just so there for him, and he was so busy thinking prevent that it's like he didn't even recognize the offense that Kilcarry laid out on the table for him, and that's credit to Kilcarry.
It's interesting you said Tom Ryan's over there thinking, because one of my big takeaways is that we were sitting in the audience. Your first time ever in Rec Hall, what an experience.
Yeah.
Was Tom Ryan's coaching style, because there was, up until literally the last match with Feldman, all Tom Ryan, like his assistants are on the mat doing the coaching. Tom Ryan just paces back and forth like the Godfather or something. I was fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Dude. And then when the wrestlers would finish, he would talk to him after the match. But I thought, dude, he doesn't do the on the mat coaching?
Well, he might really like his assistants' game day coaching talents. And, Tom did his work before the match, and then immediately after the match, he's immediately starting the work for the following match. I can't blame him. I couldn't be like that.
I know. As a college wrestling coach, especially, man, it's intense out there. You want to be out there on the mat, right?
That's true. That was very interesting. I mean, he's not even away from the corner. He's quite a bit away from the corner.
Yeah, he's back, and basically hanging out with us.
Yeah.
It was wild,
just
dude.
Pacing. But I did like when they came off the mat, it was him and the wrestler back in the hallway.
Yep.
And the very first, and I tell you, in all seriousness, I've always liked Tom Ryan. I did. You hear him in interviews and stuff, and obviously, he's a great coach. He did a great job that night. There's no doubt.
Well, let's talk about some more of the matches. I mean, did they come in with the old Iowa from last year's style? Defense, a lot of times, right? Some of these matches.
Yeah, that did get frustrating. And
Hepner.
I sat there waiting. Okay, let me wait. I'm going to wait to see how long it takes before I see another Ohio State shot attempt. And Zach, at one point, I took a nap and woke up. I was still waiting. And, the thing is, and really, I don't know if, you're going up against the big dynasty, the number one team, and all of a sudden, a lot of guys like to wait for the reattack, wait for Penn State to come in, and then I'll reattack. Look, last year's Iowa-Penn State match comes to mind so quickly that literally, after RBY Teskey, that was one of the worst duels I've seen in my life. It really was. That was painful.
Yeah, we talked about
Iowa. Penn State. First off, Iowa, come to win.
That's Friday coming up.
And the guy that really took the cake here was Hepner. I mean, Messenbrink's up on him by 6 points. Hepner's literally just clinging on the top. He had no intentions on winning that match. Heck, at the end of the match, he's got a cradle locked up for 20 seconds. He didn't even attempt to take it over. Hepner, the goal of the game is to win. If you were like gonna put a star on your chest, I only got the regular decision by Messenbrink. Are you wearing that around this week at the college?
Well, maybe he was doing it for the team.
No, the team. I was thinking that way too. Maybe sometimes you're in a position where you're kind of thinking that way for the team win, but really it was already kind of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah,
but. And I just hope that Friday night Iowa shows up to win, and everybody. But with that said, some of them Iowa guys came out. Obviously,
Ohio State guys. We're talking about Buzakis over MusiCael. That was surprising.
Buzakis came out to win, no doubt.
I even liked how Feldman wrestled.
Wow,
I'll say that,
telling.
Dude.
That was telling, man.
I mean, I like where Feldman's headed here, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, he is going to be a big dog. There's no doubt about it.
He lost 12-0 to Kirk, but he was aggressive.
I mean, you think of some of these Hodge contenders. Strachey just had a close match. O'Toole just had a close match.
Yeah.
David Carr's already got a loss. Vito just had a close match and a loss. I mean, Parker's been looking good. Dayton Fix just had a close match with Klebov. And that was admirable what he did. He moved up to 41 and had another close match, but that was up at 41. I mean, Kirk Levitt and Brooks are really, to me...
It's kind of separating themselves. Warm blanket Brooks, dude. I mean, he, again, against Geog, just utter domination there.
Yeah, and
it's a man wrestling a boy is what, who said that? One of our...
And we got to, I hate excuses, I do, but we got to remember this. We've all experienced this. Gotten the flu doesn't just, it's gone. It's not like that. The flu hangs on. Now, we know Woods was absent last week's matches, and if it wasn't an injury, we know it was the flu. We also know Strachey was absent last week's matches. We know there it was the flu because it was mentioned during a press conference.
Yeah.
And they come out and have, Woods got beat, but Kirk Levitt, Strachey had that close match. Closer than he even looked a little gas. So to think that the flu was hanging on yet, that's real.
That's real.
Real.
What about, are you worried at all about MusiCael or Truex, who, dude, I looked away for 1 second, and then next thing I knew, Truex got decked.
Yeah.
I missed it in real time.
Yeah, he was up, what was it, 9-2 at the time? And Rogotsky, I mean, you got to give the kid credit. He's going to hit a home run or he's going to strike out. And that, apparently, the last match, he struck out.
Yeah.
He got decked. But you got to know who you're wrestling. And old Truex hung in that position, a dangerous-looking position for a guy that loves to throw people from that position. And, you just have to be aware of who you're wrestling, and especially them pin specialists.
I would say it's a good thing he wrestled him now, wrestled Rogotsky now, before the NCAAs if he ran into him, and you know what I mean?
Zach, I'm not that worried about MusiCael and Truex. Do I think either of them are going to contend for a title? I can't say no because I've seen plenty of times. Well, let's take Van Ness last year. He was losing to any major big high rank guy all regular season long.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, quite frankly, same with Bartlett. So I don't really worry about them two. I know they're going to be back being their best when it really counts. They obviously both have to be smarter and wrestle better. and not put themselves in bad positions if they expect to contend for a title. Actually, I think Nagao, that even gets tougher. Was he actually going for third? Because really...
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, but you mentioned Bartlett. We got to bring him up. He actually knocks off Mendez, who you thought that was an upset. I mean, Bartlett ranked higher, however.
Yeah, I didn't care.
And now all of a sudden, Bartlett, up at number 1 now with the Woods loss? And
should be.
Dude,
yeah.
We went into Friday night thinking Bartlett might be the third best. Now he's ranked first, dude. Boom.
Yeah.
3 days later.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean,
Penn State, I don't pay attention to rankings. Penn State's going to Carver Hawkeye with 5 number 1s and 1 number 2. We know that for certain. And of the other 6 or the other 4 left, one of them might end up being the best wrestler when the whole daggone team. But
yeah, I mean, Messenbrink with a backdoor shot at the Hodge. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Backdoor shot,
Absolutely.
Dude.
I mean, we'll see, and he's going to have some huge wins if he would be able to pull it off. But the neat thing is, and I like this, and this is absolutely true, is wrestlers really shouldn't be listening to any of these comment shows. They really shouldn't. And I don't think Cael's team does. And that's good because, we talk and whether we're half criticizing how this wrestler wrestled or maybe praising this wrestler, you don't want it to get into their head. Keep their focus where it needs to be. And I think Cael leads by example. He's talked about this. Actually answering your question, he brought this up. Is he just simply doesn't pay attention or he wants to set the example when it comes to social media. And right now, you're going to think this way the rest of your life. Wow. Like I think this way. I know you do too. If I could have back my little athletic glory days, I'm telling you, with what I know now, everything would be turned off. My total focus would be on that. And not total, but
I mean,
I certainly wouldn't bring in any other distractions.
There's definitely a culture in Penn State.
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned the rankings. That kind of makes me want to bring up a point that, we talk majority Penn State and Iowa here, and we do it for a reason. Is because, dude, okay, how long ago we made an episode predicting that Penn State could be the greatest team of all time, the greatest wrestling single season team of all time. Yeah, we're gonna talk about them.
Yeah.
More than others, and Iowa with everything going on there, dude. Come on, how can we not talk about them?
Apparently we need to start talking about Oklahoma State more.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that. Any final thoughts? Kazak over D'Amelio.
I gotta say about Kazak is he's continuing to really, really impress me. Now that was against D'Amelio and stuff, and he's got other big names coming up, no doubt. I mean, even this week with Rachi and stuff. That's going to be a tough match to win. I mean, that's going to be telling to pull off a solid win over a solid wrestler. We'll see. It's like with Braden Davis and Kazak. Whether they win or not is really not that important. How they wrestle, how they compete, no doubt will be telling. And I said before that we really don't have a full picture on Braden Davis yet. We might after the Ayala match. And it really has nothing to do whether he wins it or loses it. So, obviously.
Also, is Levi back on track here with the 11-3
yeah,
win
Levi
over Wilcox?
Levi definitely looked good, and that's encouraging. And not that I was ever worried. But
you said you were never worried. I was the one.
Zach, that 125-pound weight class. Did you see just this past week? Numbers 3, numbers 4, rank 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, all lost. Just this past week. Really, you could say number 2 lost too.
One of them, you're in your top tier, Figueroa, right?
Figueroa he lost 2 straight.
Yeah.
And plus, for you people, members of our Facebook group, I put a little video of Figueroa's little cheap shot on
the elbow.
On Spratley.
The back elbow by Figueroa. Yikes.
You know what? That angered me when I seen that. Figueroa. You know what? Classless. That was absolutely purpose. Basically what happened was Spratley's behind him right at the end of the match. Spratley's about ready to lift him and put him back down on the mat for the last second or two. And Figueroa is kind of leaning over, and he felt Spratley's head was right here, and he literally just came back.
I'll show it real quick, yeah, so they can see it. Boom.
Lift, and 5 seconds to go.
Now they saw it. Now.
Oh, okay.
Bam!
Ugly, and classless. And he'd be glad I'm not his coach, because he'd be sitting. That disgusted me. Like, this guy's not a champion. So, no, I won't be picking Figueroa for any of my top tier or any of my fantasy teams either.
Back to the drawing board, Figs.
Yeah, down. We all make mistakes, I understand, but daggone. That was more than a mistake.
Little dirty.
Yeah.
But Iowa State, West Virginia, just a couple notable matches here. Swiderski over Waters and David Carr over Peyton Hall. David Carr just keeps
rolling. Keeps rolling. Yeah.
Boy, with that one loss. And,
there's the style matchup thing. David Carr never seems to have trouble with Hall, and O'Toole does.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'll tell you, forget rankings. Man, anyone seems to be able to win this year. We just see these ranked kids getting beat all the time, and we're shocked. We're shocked. At some point, we stop being shocked. I mean, the talent level across the board is elevated so high that, I often thought, don't give this guy credit. He's only got 3 wins over 3 ranked guys. All the rest are the scrubs. There are no scrubs.
No, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, there are no scrubs.
Not anymore, not with the evolution of the sport, man. I mean, even, your lesser, compared to the older days, are much better, I would say, than where your mid-class to lower tier were back in the old days. But you mentioned the Figueroa match real quick, and Oklahoma State. They beat Arizona State 28-9. Teamer over Travis, though. But Oklahoma State.
Wow. Wow. And you know what? Old Coleman Scott showing up obviously helped that whole situation. John Smith has to be having so much fun right now. John, you might as well just cancel them plans about retirement. You got the train rolling now. You might as well just stay there. Sorry, Coleman. Just hang on. It'll be just a few more years. John Smith's got
maybe some.
We all want to see a duel here. We want to see. Oh, this gets back to. I get mad. Where is this dual championship? Yeah. Because everyone in the world, Penn State against Oklahoma State. Hey, Penn State, you better worry about Iowa coming up this week. True?
Yeah.
Because I looked at that match, too, and you're all going to think I bumped my head and got crazy. 7 of them matches are in the balance. If Penn State does not come to wrestle, Zach, I'm here to say Iowa could win this duel. But I'll say this.
Figure it out, but
we got things to talk about there. Penn State, and I'm not worried. Look who's in charge over there. But as one of the little squawking fans that are back there squawking all the time, I'm back here squawking, saying, Penn State, you better be ready to wrestle.
In Iowa, too.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah. All right. But before we talk about Iowa, real quick, NC State over North Carolina, Jack over McNeil, but then Hidlay over Shaw. Hey, just real quick, hit this Trent Hidlay, man.
Dude, I mean, you talk about under the radar, even for Hodge. Has he had a close match? I'll tell you another name that's way, way down the rankings on this Hodge ranking, and that's Hendrickson. Okay, that's all. Don't forget that first match where Kirkleviet kicked the tar out of him. That didn't count.
Yeah.
So every match Hendrickson has been like domination.
I mean, if you think about it, let's think about both those weight classes. Hidlay and Brooks facing the finals. Kirk and Wyatt facing the finals. If there's an upset, whoever wins those, I mean, say there's all 4 don't really have tests all year, and they go into that. And
Yeah.
so you're
Well,
right.
and the
There's a
thing-
backdoor Hodge winner there.
Thing is one of the biggest matchups of the year. I get bubbly when I think about this. Is Bastida and Hendrickson. I just think that match is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I really do, and I can't wait. I want it all to shake out. That they meet in the semis. By the way, the semifinals is the greatest round of wrestling in all of. And Greg, our freestyle correspondent, you know I love you, and you know how much you're pulling me towards this freestyle. I'm starting to really, really love freestyle and all that stuff. The greatest round of wrestling is the national championship semifinals. I'm gonna say it right here. Oh, I can hear Greg yelling at me now. Greg's back there. You don't know what you're talking about. But yes, that is so awesome. Having the split screen. Let's say this match gets a little boring over here. You got this match, and it's. Is that?
I agree. I can't argue with that. But listen, Iowa, Michigan. We got to talk about that match from Friday night. It was Michigan 24-11. But listen, before we get started, I guess on our Facebook group page there was reports that Amin was late for the skin check. Right? Was checked, but then Brands threw a fit and did not allow him to wrestle.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the reports were that Amin was like 5 minutes late for the skin check. Tom Brands threw a fit and did not allow it. That's why Amin didn't go.
Wow.
And that was a Tom card. I mean, we know Tom coaches. He pulls all the cards out in coaching.
You know, we got to give some love out to one Sean Bourmet. Because we said Tom's been out there schooling people, and he comes to town, he schools you, and then he leaves. You know what, Sean Burnett, he was on top of it.
He left this week with his tail between his legs, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
my
did.
goodness.
Oh, my goodness. And
What happened?
Give credit where credit is due.
What? Michigan showed up.
Wow.
I mean, starting at 125. The Augustino over Ayala.
It's one thing to take a loss. It's another one to take a spanking. And, thank God. Wow.
Like Lemley over Woods, that was like I was having flashbacks of Spencer Lee. Dude.
Oh, that was unbelievable. All of them. I mean, the thing is Gomez was solid because Voinovich is no slouch. And
Franek goes down.
Even, Kennedy got handled.
They just did not. Maybe the flu's going on there.
And then Hill, Brands is trying to get some definition with this 285, especially for these big matches, the Penn State, Oklahoma State match coming up. Okay, who's the guy I'm going to want to throw out there? And he just cannot get clarity there. I kind of expect. Who do you expect?
When's the last time we've seen Keeter?
Well, he's got a pin, like a 45-second pin over. I can't call it a scrub anymore because I'm done calling anybody scrubs, but obviously an unranked guy.
Yeah.
But
I'm starting to think it's not going to be him because wouldn't you want him to? I would want him to be getting more action at this point. I think it's Bradley Hill.
It might. I think it. I wouldn't doubt if both gets weighed in and he decides on how the match is going. And
well, we also talked about.
The thing is Keeter still has 3 competitions left, so Keeter could go for both of these matches. But personally, I wouldn't send Keeter out against Kirk Levitt. I think about
why would you
send him out against Doucette? I would do that, but I don't know. We'll see. And
Speaking
of course,
that,
we were the ones that said. Well, Terry was one that cued us off about this Gabe Arnold possibly. We don't know for certain. Possibly having maybe some sort of slip disc or something. And that's just on the Hawkeye report boards. But
possible.
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I don't expect to see Gabe Arnold Friday.
I don't expect.
And quite frankly, I don't expect to see Keeter either Friday.
No, I don't either.
But we'll see. It'd be fun. I'm hoping both of them go. And because whether they send out Gabe Arnold at 84 against Truex, first off, Truex could use a quality win. And Gabe Arnold's he brings excitement to the table. And he's obviously very good. And that's going to be a very good match if it happens. And with Keeter is obviously a very competitive, strong, fast. It's just daggone. Did you see Kirk Levitt against Feldman? And Feldman is a class A athlete here.
Yeah.
And Zach, did it look like a man against youth?
There was 2 matches that looked like
Good
that. It was Brooks
God.
and Kirk. Yeah. And it
Wow.
was like,
Wow, that
they're on a
was
different level, man.
yeah. And
They're
you know,
on a different
old
level.
Feldman had the momentum going. He had these big wins over Davidson and what have you, winning duels for his team, and there was no chance. There was no chance. Just Kirk Levitt just blew right through him. But
I mean, how about overall? Is it true the top 3 ranked Iowa wrestlers lost Friday night? Ayala at 4, Real Woods at 1, and Franek at 2?
yeah,
Their best 3 lost, dude.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
talk about
true.
getting punched in the mouth.
yeah, wow. That is,
Not great timing.
They matched up
let me
bad
ask you
with
this though. Well, not great time. Is it possible both Iowa and Penn State are kind of looking forward to maybe the matchup this Friday?
I mean, you could say that, but I mean, the thing is, yeah, I guess you could say that, but
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They just got punched in the mouth, dude. In
yeah,
Michigan.
you just got defeated.
Yikes!
And defeated.
How about for the team rankings? Okay, I mean, I know
Now-
this was just a dual meet, but
Well, right now, if you were saying, and really
then Missouri got beat up.
I was going to say my opinion of Missouri's gone down.
Woo!
So I'm still there with Penn State, and you know how I like Cornell because of their big scores. I'm talking about the end of the year trophy teams. I like the fact that they got big potential scores, but Oklahoma State all of a sudden, how do they not?
I know.
But does Oklahoma State
We'll have to include the team rankings.
have any champions? I don't know, because Fix has to deal with Vito, and then
And Crookham.
and Crookham, yeah. And I don't know if Oklahoma
He's
State
gonna
has
face
any
Vito
champions. I
in the
can't
semis,
see. I
dude.
can't see Plott winning. I don't think he has any chance of beating Kekheisen. Obviously, Olenek has to deal with all them hammers at 65, but just solid across the board. So I don't know. Oklahoma State may go through the regular season undefeated and not be a trophy team at the end, just how things shake out. But if they got all of them,
That would be wild. Yeah.
if they got all of them on the podium, like around 5th to 3rd place, I think it's safe to say
We'll include them in our team rankings preview, but you did mention Cornell. Let's take a quick break from college wrestling, talk about the Pan Am qualifier as we move on to Saturday.
Yes.
And mainly the 65 kilograms where Nickley beat Yanni, 12-3. Unfortunate. Yanni with that slammed as he was taken.
And can I just say,
Nickley down to the mat.
okay, we're
hit
not
his head.
doctors. We're not anything. We're just fans out here. Fans get the option to voice their little opinions about stuff. There's something broke about the concussion protocol, Zach. Did you watch closely? Ever since Shapiro, I'm watching what the actual protocol
Yeah, so
is.
am I, dude. So am
Very
I.
closely.
I mean,
okay.
I did watch. I thought he did his thing.
He obviously hit his head. We know he hit his head. We know it hurt because we're taking a timeout. And then I proceeded to watch the protocol, and he's got the finger going back and forth, and then he's testing arm strength. Put your arms up, put your arms down, a little more of this, a little of this. And it's like, really? Really? Let's get a doctor involved here. Because what he did then is Yanni then proceeded to try to wrestle with a concussion. Obviously, he got, Nick Lee just took charge from that point forward.
I mean, clearly Yanni was not himself after that. Yeah.
But, my wife's a nurse, and she tells me a little bit of stuff I don't know. The seriousness of things that could happen after you get a concussion. And, maybe I should watch
Why don't
that.
we bring her on to ask about the concussion?
Yeah!
Mom.
That's a good idea!
Let's ask about what
Nurse.
is the concussion protocol. We'd love to know. But
Look at her shaking her head.
no.
You know
chance.
why, Zach?
There's a better chance of Brooks losing this year than her coming on this show.
I know. She's a spa. You say, what's a spa? A spa. SP. She's a shy person. Come on, Pam. Come on with that. She's shaking her head no.
Well, you're kind of shy too, but
No. But yeah, we.
hey,
love
listen,
her.
I gotta ask
We
you.
love her.
Listen, what's next for Yanni though, dude? What is actually next for Yanni? I mean,
Well, I mean, the thing is
that's
Nick.
pretty devastating for him not to even get a chance at the second and third matches.
Man,
dude.
that-
I mean,
that
you
is-
work all. This is what you work for, and for
Yeah.
it to end that fast on a head slam, like, dude,
I know.
very unfortunate for Yanni. Feel
I
bad
mean, the
for him.
thing is, Nick Lee will go out to try to qualify the weight at the Pan Ams, 65, and it'll be Nick Lee at 65, and it'll be Zane Richards for 57. If they don't qualify them, then the trials winner, in other words, our team will be chosen right before the last chance. And correct me if I'm wrong, especially Greg. Our team will be chosen before the last chance. This is the last chance to get qualified. And at that point, whoever our representative is, like at 65, whether it would be Nick Lee, whether it would be Zane Rutherford, whether it would be Alirez, whoever it might be, they go to the last chance for the last chance to qualify the weight.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
that's
all
where
of
we
our
can
weights are
expect to see
qualified
Yanni.
except for them first two. So same with 57. We were upset. Zane Richards didn't have anyone challenge him as far as winning the spot to go to Pan Am's to try to qualify this weight, because it gets a whole lot tougher at last chance. So, and we certainly want all the weights, all three weights qualified. You say three weights, okay, I'm exaggerating. That's a little jab to the Olympic Committee for the ridiculousness of our weight classes. Come on. And I read on a forum somewhere, well, why is there a different weight? There's 10 weight classes for the World Championships, but there's only 6 for the Olympics. And someone answered, it's a financial decision.
Everything's financial.
Ay.
Everything's financial nowadays. But all right, so we can expect to see Yanni again soon. With his last chance
for the trials. Yeah, I hopefully he's healed up and he'll be back to try to win that spot to be our Olympic representative at 65 kilograms. That very first takedown when he hurt his head, that was impressive. So I think Yanni came to scrap, but and Nick Lee I thought looked good too. This is not taking anything away from Nick Lee. While he got that 12-3 win, he looked good. He did. So
I love how Nick Lee, dude, he beat Yanni back to the center of the mat every single time, even before the head injury.
Yeah.
He is just like, dude, let's just keep rolling. Let's just wrestle for 20 minutes straight, dude. I don't care.
Kale's whole philosophy is spreading throughout wrestling. And they interviewed Nick, and it's kind of like the same philosophy we take with this podcast. Are you having fun? We got to have fun. If we're not having fun, then we might as well end. But if you're having fun, who cares if nobody likes us? Let's keep doing it. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different with the wrestlers, but really, what they're doing is keeping having fun, like maybe at the top of the priority list.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It does. You just wrestle better. You're freer. You're more loose. I think you think better. All of it. It just makes sense. And I now see the word gratitude used by coaches all over the place. And you know what? People are like that. We're a bit of sheeple, all of us. We see something, we start following it, especially if it's working. And
well, listen, there's the saying in corporate America, steal shamelessly. If you see someone else doing something and it works, steal it. Steal it. Which actually reminds me, Corey brought up, Clash is doing the rankings. Why are we not doing rankings? What? Wow.
We can't steal that from Clash.
We can do our own rankings. We're going to do our own rankings.
Well,
That's just a no-brainer. We're way too close to the forest to see the trees.
That's true. But I'd like it to have a little twist on it. Couldn't we just
maybe
say,
we do tiers.
who are the semifinalists?
Okay.
Let's talk about the greatest round. Who's the semifinalist for this?
Yeah, okay.
Has your semifinalist changed for 165? Or, we could go that route.
Just
but
give our final, yeah.
Kudos to
Our twist.
Clash, because that is...
Yeah. I mean, hey.
Just because you're not one of the, you're not the WrestleStat or you're not the
Doesn't
Flow
mean you
or
can't do
something.
your own rankings.
Doesn't mean you can't do your own rankings. And by the way, we were wrong. That reminds me. We were wrong with Kazak, weren't we? Right before on our live broadcast, we claimed it made no sense
for Kazak to go out.
Go out because as soon as he wrestles again, the shirt is off. By the way, the shirt is off. So the
shirt's off for Kazak.
This is now a dead issue. And WrestleStat made the counterpoint. Our point was it made no sense for him to hold it as long as possible in case he would get hurt in practice or whatever. It's not like you're dropping a lot by using David Evans. And WrestleStat's point was, well, you're missing opportunities for him to keep rising in the rankings, to be the one out there getting the big wins, rising.
Yeah, he needs the matches for the seed.
Yeah,
to improve his seed,
bettering his seed, bettering his opportunity, and that is absolutely true too. So it's one of them things.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Either way, it's now a dead issue, and ultimately, whatever Kale decides at this point, he wins. Because until it stops working, how can you second guess anything that he decides? I'm glad Kazak's out there. I think he looks hungry. I really, really do. Really like watching him, and you can see the David Taylor coaching in him. He's got a lot of stuff, and I know David Taylor has to be just thrilled with what he's seeing, and. I really be rooting.
David Taylor just had his third daughter. Congrats, David.
That's right. Do you think Kazak will place?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
That reminds me of something else though. And I'm sorry to bounce back to Penn State, but at the match you mentioned that you did not like the new low-key music that plays during the matches.
No, it was. I don't mind it.
Kale came on. I think this was Kale's idea.
Rec Hall is like awkwardly quiet, and so we need some noise in there. I know. I heard. I did hear a couple people this time. I didn't. Last time I didn't hear that people were saying turn the music off. If people made more noise, we would turn the music off. It's just so quiet in there. You can hear a 4-year-old kid up in the corner yell, "We are," and if that's the case, it's too quiet. And it's awkward. And it's like, this is a sporting event. Like, let's make some noise. So that so we're trying to just make it less awkward, so you can talk and have a conversation with somebody sitting next to you without everyone in the arena hearing you. So the music's not coming off. We like it. We might crank it up a little bit more.
Well,
he defended it and said it's so quiet, we needed it.
I agree with that too. If you notice, while it's quiet, I'm kind of talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm a little surprised that you're not hearing talk going on.
Yeah.
How it gets completely silent, like I'm talking to you saying, Zach, he's going to have to watch that. He's going to snatch that ankle again. I'm there talking to you the whole time, and I notice around, like everyone's
silent.
just studying the match. And
is that like a wrestling culture thing? I'll tell you what it made me want to do. I just wanted to yell out, BET Wrestling, be on here!
Oh, you shut him.
Wow.
But Zach, that was the first time I've ever been to a match in Rec Hall, and it was truly was a bucket list thing for me. And thank you.
Yeah, it was cool.
I told him,
cool.
never again do I want another birthday present ever again for the rest of my life. You fulfilled it.
You got it. All right, moving on. Little Rock. I got to mention Little Rock, dude, because they knocked off Cal Poly 21-12. We talked about them before. But listen, 5 ranked wrestlers at Little Rock.
Dude, Little Rock is for real.
Got Bailey at 133.
And by the way, that is the guy under the radar.
Bailey.
Yes, that's the guy under the radar. But even Stephen Little's tough. All of them. All of them that are ranked are tough.
Little Rock has big boulders. Shirts for sale on the website.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I had to mention him, man. It's just Bailey. Is he gonna AA?
Yes. In fact,
Little does
I'll be
Little
looking
AA.
to pick him up.
Does Little AA? Do they above or Little Rock AA?
I mean, Little's got some
1.5
big wins already
is
this
the
year.
over under.
What's that?
1.5 is the over under for Little Rock AAers. Little. Stephen Little at Little Rock. We also have Cornella at Cornell. Wild stuff, dude.
I mean, Little's in a tough 197 weight class.
Yeah.
There's some real studs there. Even Rocky Elam that looked better yesterday. And, you know, if he comes into his own, we already got Buchanan. I don't get to see him wrestle enough. We all know what Hidley's doing. I don't have to say a word about Brooks. Glazier, who knows how good Glazier is? We're going to find out. Not Friday. Can't gauge it off of Friday because Brooks is just, he's in another hemisphere, dude.
Yeah.
He really is. But
all right. Do you have anything you want to say about the Edinboro Open before we move on?
no, that's cool to see the Penn Staters, the Josh Bars and Bear Claw. I think he was there one, and yeah, they had Cochran one, and
More wrestling, the better.
yeah, the more wrestling the better. I do want to comment on. Were you going to touch on Iowa anymore? Because that was ground shaking. That was
The
ground shaking.
The
How
beating.
many years has it been since Michigan actually beat? Has Michigan ever beat Tom? I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably sure they did, but it's been a long time. And to do it in that style, and at the same time, the Iowa fans have all the right in the world to be just irate at this point between the shadiness of the whole gambling thing. And, you know, that was... I'm mixed on that.
Well,
Ultimately, their athletes did wrong. Tom did wrong by not keeping a close eye on the whole mess. But in the end, the punishment was more than what we all kind of think should have happened.
I guess we should touch on that because I mean we spoke on that match day, and now that it's not up, I mean, so the gambling suspensions we kind of got down. No, we did touch on it last episode.
Well, all I know is how can you imagine how it would be being an Iowa fan? I don't know what I'm thinking right now. I'm still a little upset the fact that we lost Chittum. And the whole Chittum,
good.
We lost that over the whole bringing Ferraris in, and then you start to balance this out. Well, right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we never see AJ wrestle college again, A. And B, obviously the two younger brothers have potential, but do we know whether they're going to stay at Iowa or not? I don't, you know, and of course Anthony had an opportunity to start this year, and Rachi beat him out, and that's that. And of course Angelo has all the potential in the world, but none of them are huge, big scorers. So all I'm saying, you don't let a Chittum get away. I don't know what you got to do there. I'm, as an Iowa fan, I'm still angry about that. But what are you going to do? This Michigan loss had to sting and all that. And ultimately, we've said this many times. We don't want nothing to happen with Tom or either of the brands because they're such a huge part of college wrestling.
They're not going anywhere, but...
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Ohio State beat Rutgers 22-12. However, your boy Rogatsky got decked. So there goes that. What did you call it? The Rogatsky roller coaster?
The Rogatsky coaster.
The Rogatsky coaster.
We're going downhill now. But boy, you better be aware of who you're wrestling when you're wrestling Rogatsky. Because he can pin you. I don't care what rank sits in front of your name.
Yeah. Also, Buzakis lost to Shawver.
Oh, Buzakis has been doing that a little himself. But that was a quality win over Nagao, and I give it to Buzakis. He wrestled well there. He really did. But, and, you know, the whole Mendez thing, Mendez Bartlett. I was really proud of Bartlett and how he wrestled that match and all that stuff. And I mean, does Mendez come in with a different game plan next time he wrestles Bartlett? I don't know. Because Mendez is a scorer. And you say, well, in the end, Mendez trying to score cost him that win because Bartlett's so good at.
Well, we talked about whoever would get the first takedown was big, but and that we also talked about Mendez and whether he would play that offense card, knowing that that's what Bartlett's strength is.
I tell you right now, that's interesting. We're going to see. I still have high regards for Mendez. Like, he could be a national champion. And I'm not overreacting to Woods either. The whole Woods thing. Woods is obviously very good. And we got to give credit towards Lemley and a lot of these other studs that are coming up.
Lemley, a freshman, right?
Yeah, and he's like, you could keep going on. The Keenan Websters of the world. The Moores of the world. The Baileys of the world. It's like, they're not big names. A lot of people don't even know who they are. They're incredibly
Well, I'll say this. You get a win like that, if you're Lemley, that's
all of a sudden he's a name.
Career-changing, confidence-changing win there.
Yeah.
Like Ramos last year. Over.
And you have to think, does that damage Woods' head any? Nah, he's been around the block enough that I don't think so.
It does something, dude.
It does.
It does.
I don't care. I guess you're right. It does.
I mean, he's the leader in the clubhouse too for Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa has Penn State coming in, and they are beat up like mentally.
And the thing about Woods, you say, well, he probably had the effects of the flu, but him losing, it wasn't a case of, wow, I can tell he got tired right here, Zach. And that's when Lemley moved in and started taking charge.
Yeah,
it wasn't that at all how he lost. So even if he did feel sluggish, he might have not been thinking as fast as he would have if he was fully healthy. But Lemley went out and grabbed it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That's what I seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Lemley, Lemley is now here. So welcome to the club, Lemley. You're on the show, baby. Like, you are.
I mean, he about beat Bartlett, too, if you remember. That
Lemley's
1 point or something like that.
The real deal, dude.
Yeah.
Indiana beat Michigan State 23-13. Indiana, man.
That was one of the funnest duels I've seen in a long time.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a fun duel. That really was.
All right.
Yeah. They were all going for it. And note to Ohio and Penn State, the whole world's going to be watching you. Go talk to Indiana and Michigan State how to entertain a crowd, because that's what that duel was, entertaining.
Yeah.
They were all going for it. Go for it, boys. Go for it Friday night. Let's go.
All right. Shout out Indiana and Michigan State. All right. Moving on. The Appellation State VMI. I don't know. Do you want to talk about this? We saw there was apparently App State was not doing handshakes.
What?
Yeah.
Well, first off,
did you read that?
Don't everybody shake hands at the end of a duel? I mean, you line up and you go and shake hands. You mean they were upset because he didn't go? You know what? Too many people in this world are walking around and looking for reason to be upset. Oh, you hurt my feelings.
All right, I'm with you. I'm with you, dude. Yeah.
Come on now.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Come on.
Why are we all so sensitive, man? I know,
sensitive.
Dude.
Sensitive.
I got to scale my back sometimes. But all right, let's talk some more about Oklahoma State, who just beat up Missouri.
I know.
24-10, dude.
Spratley, I cannot say. Do you watch Spratley?
Yeah.
I know he's ranked at 11th or something. How do you not love that guy? After the composure he has, too. We've seen the cheap shot he took from Figs. I don't even want to call him Figs anymore. He doesn't deserve a nickname from me or a short name. Anyway, but even here against certain, and I'm going to be out of bounds here. Really, with the neck brace? But isn't that unfair or something?
With that thing, dude?
Isn't that unfair?
What?
I mean,
what is the injury for that? And
if I want to put a half on, I got to put a half on up over a a tire that's hanging around his neck. I mean, the whole thing. If he's that hurt, he's got to wear a neck brace. Set the man. And the push on the side by Certain, pushing him because poor Spratley was a little too close to him as he was getting down to get set for the second period, and he pushes him, and it's like, come on, man. But I like Spratley. I'm sorry, boy. I'm putting some opinions out there today.
I mean, I'm with you though. Listen, if that was my kid's got to wear a neck brace. I'd be like, yeah, maybe it shouldn't be wrestling.
I know.
You need a neck brace, dude?
I know. And then he didn't play like a real, sleek little, like sporty kind.
Stuff,
He's got the whole full tire right around his neck.
Why didn't Yanni put that on? He could have came back out and wrestled. I'm just kidding. But listen, some coaching strategy here. So, 133, Missouri was going to forfeit thinking, they'll send out Fix. No, not so fast. Yeah. Not so fast. They send out Smith. They bump up Fix, who then gets a tough fought win, 2-1 over Edmond.
Yeah. That was gutsy.
That was a closer match than I thought it was going to be at Edmond.
And boy, can you imagine how much old John Smith loves Dayton Fix? He may literally cry when Dayton Fix walks out that door for good.
What a chess piece.
And it's
wow. I mean, he's their warm blanket there in Oklahoma State. But then Teague Travis beats Mauler.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mauler. What's going on with Mauler? Getting mauled. That's what he's going on with Mauler. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what's going on with Missouri over there.
Yeah, what happened? This was in Missouri too. Awesome atmosphere in Missouri. The octagon mat.
Yeah.
Fans were hyped.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, shout out to the fans in Missouri. They showed up because what was the Michigan, Iowa in Michigan? Yeah. Where were the Michigan fans?
I know.
There were no Michigan fans.
There were seats all galore.
Empty.
And I heard a guy say the biggest draw in all of college wrestling is Iowa wrestling. You watch. Anywhere Iowa goes, the stadium fills up. Wrong that time.
That place was empty. So shout out Missouri for packing the house, dude.
Keegan O'Toole against Olenek. And he got the win. It was a regular decision win, and Keegan looked good, but I'm not ready to give him Nolf status yet. Nolf just was, or Nickel, or one of them big guys that just hit a whole nother hemisphere where it's like...
You were getting close to saying that.
You can't even put your brain around thinking, how is this guy going to beat... I can see how Keegan O'Toole can get beat. Now, we almost seen it from Hall the other day. We're going to see Carr and him go at it a couple times. And you know what? O'Toole may run the table this year. He's very, very good, obviously. I'm just saying... I
can't wait for the O'Toole car and the O'Toole mess and bring.
Yeah,
inevitably. But
that's gonna be fun. Although there's gonna be a lot of nervous moments coming up, Zach. I'm a pack of nerves sometimes before big matches. I really am. But
all right, big match. Another big. So Thompson over Mako, dude. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, even Mako looks. It's almost like, first off, you can't give Missouri enough credit for their schedule. And really, you can't exact same thing with Oklahoma State. And I could say the same thing about a couple other teams, too. Cornell's and what have you. They were out there wrestling the best out there. And it's every weekend they got a war. And you got to give them credit, and you got to think down the line. This helps them.
It's going to pay off in the long run.
It's going to pay off. They've been in major wars the entire year long, and
it's a good point. That is a good point.
So
they're battle tested, man. Battle tough, dude.
The losses during the regular season, do they really count or matter? No, not really. Might hurt your seeding a little bit, but that don't matter either.
Yeah.
Because you got to beat every guy in the bracket anyway.
Yeah.
So
get in.
It's all a learning thing. And, for us to say Mahler or Mako had a bad outing and took losses and all that stuff, and Mahler certainly has had some bad outings, that was a little ridiculous. when he got just completely handled by Shapiro. I mean, hey, I'm ready to give Shapiro credit myself, but come on, to let somebody come in and just dominate you like that. I mean, you got to have a certain fight about you, but maybe that's what's being learned right now. And by the time it counts most, Mahler is going to have that fire inside, that hunger that he needs to get him as high on that podium as he could possibly get. So,
man, you mentioned Shapiro. One of the most anticipated matches of the year for me has got to be Haynes and Shapiro.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, I am. Well, really, Shapiro and
I wrote them both in the finals. I chalked them in already.
Yeah, that's true. And I'll tell you the honest truth. I can't wait for. Really, I want to see Shapiro against Teamer too. I think Teamer is so athletic. That's going to be a fun match if that would happen. Of course, Blockus is tearing it up this year, and but
yeah,
Franic's been taking some losses. Zerbin, we don't get to see enough. How good is this Vinny Zerbin? We're going to find that out too. But Haynes does look very good the last couple of matches, so he's the guy you got to go through.
He's coming back long, maybe, yeah. But just some other notable matches. Arizona State beat the Beavers 1917. That was the other loss out of Figueroa to Renteria.
Yeah.
9-5, man. Yikes.
I know.
Also, Olguin lost. Wisconsin 24-15 over Purdue. Ramos over Barnett.
Yeah, like I said, Barnett's one of them. I was saying about all of them 125-pounders losing. Barnett was one of them.
But Ramos really solidifying himself in that top tier.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. My top tier obviously has changed because Figueroa is not in there anymore.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Shakeup in the rankings. We'll be back later this week to give our weight class and team rankings along with the Iowa Penn State preview. I don't know if that'll be live or recorded or what, but we will get that out this week. Is there anything else you kind of wanted to go over?
Yeah, I look forward to these live recordings coming up, and I want to just take the time to thank everybody for supporting us, watching the live shows, bearing through our learning process. We're brand new at all this, and I cannot give you enough credit, Zach. You get no help from me. You don't. He gets zero help from me. So he's completely carrying this house on his own shoulders. And
that and our production team.
And it's not because don't want to help you.
You just don't know, dude.
No, I could learn. I'm busy driving a truck. And
well, you're the info, but
what's that look for, wifey?
What? I'm still waiting on that protocol.
Driving truck, double clutching, slamming gears in, she's giving me dirty looks.
People don't. We'll call her Dr. Pam, and we'll
Pam.
bring her on to give
Dr.
her
Pam.
next episode live
Dr.
concussion
Pam.
protocol. But listen, all right, just a couple comments review. Eric Day, BEG wants a new logo coming headed to Kansas City for the finals. I'll wear your t-shirt.
Oh, I got to say something about that.
Out on the store.
Zach, your logo.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like the logo. I
very,
like it
very
too.
cool. I will buy a hat with that logo on. I joked with you. I said the E in wrestling needs to be like all the other letters in wrestling. And you know what? You had to put your foot down there, didn't you? You just had to put your foot down and said, no, I'm the boss around here.
I just got tired of making edits to it. I said, no, dude, I'm done. You want the color change? You figure out how to change the color.
Hey, you know what I look forward to? Friday night, we're going to have right after the match, Friday night. We may have a preview right before, and what a night of wrestling.
Why don't we go live before and after?
We got Nebraska and Michigan at 7 o'clock, and then, of course, we got Penn State and Iowa at 9. Right before the Nebraska-Michigan match, we're going to have a preview, a short little live preview, but right after the Penn State-Iowa match, we're going to go live and we'll be there with our fantasy league. So we got some real knowledgeable guys in wrestling that'll be there commenting, and love to have Cole and Jordan back. They were with us during the match day live, and they're just a lot of fun. Hope to have John. John's one of the more knowledgeable wrestling guys I know. Actually, there's a couple quite more knowledgeable than me.
Wait a second. Is this going to be like
you know what?
another attempt?
You don't necessarily have to be knowledgeable. You just got to sell and act like you actually are knowledgeable. That's what I do. I just sell it, Zach. I just act like I know. I don't really know squat. But I learn a lot from the guys on our Facebook page. I learn a lot from these guys in the fantasy group, and I just steal their stuff. What did you say?
Steal shamelessly.
That's it. That's what I do.
Shamelessly.
That's what I do.
That's what all the big businesses do. Talking about stealing shamelessly, how about Robert Carter? Penn State has 5 transfers in their starting lineup. Wake up call. Hold on. You know what, that actually, I want to say something on that. I did read, well, I don't know. You saw a lot of these college football coaches are, Harbaugh went to the NFL, Saban retired. There was another coach who literally took a pay cut because being a college football coach now is a year-round recruiting process because of this NIL transfer. Inevitably, changes are coming.
Yeah.
Because right now, as it stands, anyone can transfer anywhere at any time. It's so you can't even do that in professional sports. Why can you do that in college? There should be okay, you should have like a month here and a month here, maybe 2 months of a year. At 2 time periods, you're allowed to transfer. You can't just have it because as a coach,
I agree,
dude. Someone has a bad day, they're out. You got to be kidding me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is right now.
I think the underlying thing of this comment was we're there blasting Michigan, making fun of Bormet and what have you and then here we got transfers too. Well, can I just say, though, to our defense, I don't consider Kirk Levite a transfer. He never even wrestled anywhere before he came. He did transfer, but he never started wrestling for some other school. He started, and his entire wrestling career is at Penn State. Now, as far as Messenbrink, that's right. He had 2 matches at some open somewhere. So really, he's almost the same as Kirk Levite. Now, the other the Nagals and the Truexes, well, he's got us there. He's got us,
Well, listen. Yeah. Let's be honest, though. That's a sport. If you're not getting transfers, you might as well give up trying to be first place.
By the way, isn't it funny which 2 are mostly struggling? No, just kidding. The 2 that transferred in. No, there's some statement to, staying home. There's a lot to go through when a kid transfers. And he's got to get...
that's true, too.
Where he has to feel comfortable and settled into his new home. And then settled with all the individual relationships with each of the teammates. There's a lot of factors. So on paper, it looks all cut and dried. You take this runner-up or AA guy and you transfer him over here, and automatically he's naturally an AA guy over here. Not necessarily. And, some of these Michigan guys are starting to look like they're finally getting more comfortable. The DiAgostino, obviously Shane, another guy, maybe.
Well, it reminds me, I'm sure everyone's by now watched the Vito special, and you get to see one of the questions I asked, who's the next one in the room? It's Shapiro hanging out. You get to see, yeah, dude. If you transfer into somewhere, you would imagine it's that type of closeness at most programs. It does take some time to adjust and fit in.
Yeah,
you're meeting all new people, all new friends, dude. It's a different culture. Yeah, wherever you go.
When I started my new job, Zach, I know how to drive a truck, but just the whole new thing, it took me a little bit to get my confidence really going again, and then it was all there. But it was a process. It was a process. It doesn't just happen like that. And
definitely an adjustment period there. But all right, a couple other comments here. Turd Ferguson, $84 million donor was to the University of Pennsylvania, not PSU. I needed to clarify that. I guess I should have.
Daggone UPenn.
Double source that one.
UPenn's got some of our money too.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They got a lot of beaver money. Yikes. Anyway, another one from Turd Ferguson, Braden, Red Ryber, BB Gun Davis. Yeah, we're open to nicknames. We love nicknames on here.
Yes.
Frankie Guardo. Hey, one of the guys was doing the agent's daughter and probably dumped her. That's why he's doing this regarding the Iowa gambling. We talked about that a little bit.
And first off, I can hear people say, "Oh, here comes the trolls chiming in," but if we want to take a step back, nope, I'm not saying that's necessarily true or anything. I'm just saying, with every issue, there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know is going on. Something like that, I mean, as ugly as that is, that actually something like that could have been the root.
Very believable, dude.
Yeah, very believable.
Very believable.
Yeah.
All right. How about Dino says, what about AJ Ferrari bird ornaments? I mean, yeah. All right, a couple other ones. Eric Von Mainstein, Woods was sick. It's going around. Roston was sick before that. So was Keeter. All right, man. I mean,
yep.
How about Beaver C? Will LaOne-to-One.
Oh, wow. That's the best you got?
Wow, dude.
That's the best. Corey C?
Yeah, Beaver C.
Oh, whoops.
11.
Oops.
Will LaOne-to-One, and then he thought, look, he typed it once and misspelled it, and instead of deleting it, he just typed the whole new.
Oh, dude! Whoa! And that's what you contribute to the podcast.
Unbelievable!
Are you
Corey,
kidding me?
Dude.
That's the best you got.
Wow. Maybe it can't type it right. Maybe there's a reason you don't want to come on here, dude. I don't know, but
the thing is, we will eventually get Corey on. He lives down in Reston. He's a big old air traffic controller down there in Washington area, and
flying airplanes.
And here's his thing. I gotta get my sleep. I gotta get my sleep.
He's a diva.
I had trouble sleeping last night.
Most of them.
You don't want me to go in there all sleepy. And we make fun of him. If you watch Breaking Bad, you see that bear with the eyeball missing, the little teddy bear. When the air traffic controller messed up and the two planes collided. And I guess this is nothing to joke about, huh?
No! I'm like, where are you going with this, dude? What?
No, Corey.
All right, Corey, you go get your beauty sleep, Corey.
Go get your sleep.
Go back to sleep, get your beauty sleep, Corey. Unbelievable. Toughen up. You know how all them wrestlers are divas.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Right? Oh, just kidding. You got anything else, man? We'll be back at some point.
All right. Way. Looking forward to it, guys.
Weight class rankings and Iowa Penn State preview. That's Friday night. That is arguably the dull meat of the year, right?
Yes.
That's what we're all waiting for, baby.
Yeah. And
Drama-verse.
Join us on Facebook. Join our page.
Go to the store, buy some merch, and like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Because if it don't go well Friday night, you might not see it unless you're on live, right?
That's true.
I'm like, cut it out.
But if we're having fun while it doesn't go well, does that change anything?
Yeah. Well,
no, it doesn't change anything.
I don't know.
We had fun.
Yeah. Well, I got the audio figured out, so we'll have 4 mics, dude.
All
I
right.
don't know what bozo thought that boom mic was a good idea.
Boom mic.
Boom, that's right out there, dude.
Boom, out went the audio.
Boom goes our shot at another one. All right, folks, this is BEG Wrestling. Until next time.
See you guys.
We'll be back. BEG Wrestling is brought to you by Beaver Enterprise Group. Visit us online at beaverenterprisegroup.com to see a full list of services and contact us now to schedule your spring photo sessions.